list, and thank you for being here. I'm really excited to talk to you about self-love, because self-love and self-esteem is something that I struggled with for many years. You see, growing up, my mother was very stressed, so she was either very angry, very depressed, or very aggressive. And she used to say things in her anger to me, like, "You're stupid," or "You're lazy," or "You're a waste of space." And when we're children, we believe everything that adults tell us. We believe in the tooth fairy, that the tooth fairy will come and take our tooth and give us money. We believe, some of us, we hear the stories of Santa Claus, how he'll deliver presents to a whole country or a whole universe in one night. We hear different things. And there was one rhyme that my mother used to say to me. She used to say, "There was a little girl who had a little curl in the middle of her forehead. And when she was good, she was very, very good. And when she was bad, she was horrid." And so I thought that I was horrid. There also wasn't much love between my mum and my dad. I didn't really see them have much affection towards each other. And I thought, well, I didn't blame my dad when my dad left when I was 13. And my dad disappeared for 3 months. And then we started to see him for 6 weeks, once every 6 weeks. And I felt as a child that perhaps I'm not lovable, that I'm not enough. And so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to now, and we're going to be doing this throughout the presentation, is form groups of 2 or 3 or 4. So with the people next to you, form groups of 2 or 3 or 4, and when I share something, I'm going to be asking you to share things in your group. So as I shared my story to you of my childhood and feeling unloved, is there anything that resonated with you? How did you feel towards my story? So in groups of 2 or 3, with the person next to you, just share one thing that came up for you. Maybe it was, is there any times in your childhood that you felt unloved, or by a parent or another child, or by a school teacher? Just share just one thing that came up. Great. So, okay, thank you. So when we're going to be sharing, we're just going to be sharing from our heart and just listening and not giving advice, but just listening. So why are we talking about self-love? We hear self-love a lot by other people. You may have said to someone, you have to love yourself more. Or you may have heard that you can't love anyone else until you love yourself. And it can be quite confusing. What does it really mean, self-love? Well, self-love means loving the self. It means respecting ourselves. It means appreciation for our bodies, for our minds. It's about the joy of being alive. And self-love is not vanity. It's not arrogance. It's not stuck-upness. For that is only fear. So why is self-love important? Why are we here today talking about self-love? Well, it affects our results. If we believe in ourselves, then when we go to achieve things, we're going to get better results. If we don't believe in ourselves, if we feel that we're not good enough, or that we're not going to be able to do something, then it's going to affect our results. It also affects our relationships. We're happier in relationships when we have a strong sense of loving ourselves and being happy with ourselves. And it also affects our health and the joy that we feel. And as I'm going to be sharing with you, self-love can work miracles in our lives as we start to apply it. So we may hear from magazine articles and from things we read in the news that self-love is about eating broccoli or spinach, or it's about doing yoga. That's self-love. But self-love is actually so much simpler than that, and actually so much easier than that. There really is only one secret to self-love, and that is to awaken the love energy, the energy that we have inside, which is what we'll be sharing. So when you open this love energy, we're more creative, we're more productive, we have peace of mind, we have better relationships, and we have better health. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So there's 3 things that we're going to be covering. We're going to be looking at the barriers to love. We're going to be looking at love energy, what that is. And we're going to be looking at the love energy toolkit. So there are 3 things that I need from you. The first thing that I need from you is your full attention. We get so inundated today by Facebook messages, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, emails, that we can be overloaded. And you're here for a reason. Either you decided to come or it was a last minute thing. And so giving yourself the gift of saying that for the next 55 minutes or so, you're not going to be replying back to any messages. The second thing that I need from you is to avoid the I know it all trap. Because when we think we know it all, we can miss great insights or great shifts from happening within. And when we think we know it all, it's a kind of like a horrible energy to have. It's kind of like negative. Oh, I know it all. So I ask you to just switch that off. And the last thing is just to have an open heart. Because we're going to be sharing in our little groups things that resonate with us as we come up. And so just to listen and to not give any advice would be great. So who am I? My name is Nicola Beers, and I help many couples to save their marriage. And I also help with other family relationships. I help with if there's been tension between mother and father, or siblings, or parent and daughter. And I also help people to free themselves if they've got a lot of anxiety, or if they're suffering from some addictions or some anger. And I've been published in 4 best-selling books as well. So enough about me. Let's look at the barriers to love. So there are 3 main barriers to love. The first one is self-criticism. The second is guilt, and the third is resentment. And these, if we're feeling and we're holding these in our lives, we can't have the beauty of self-love or having love from others. So self-criticism. Self-criticism is something that I used to have a lot of. I used to criticize myself, saying that I didn't really fit in. I don't really belong. I used to criticize myself a lot about the money that I was spending. Am I spending too much money? Am I saving enough money? Am I wasting money? I used to criticize myself sometimes of social situations. The next day I would say to myself, why did you say that? You should have said this, or you shouldn't have said that. And it was really exhausting. And so I was quite unhappy, and I thought, I know, I'll move to Dubai. That will make me happy. And this was 12 years ago now. So I moved to Dubai. But the thing is that you take yourself with you. So this critical voice that I had inside came with me. And no amount of sunshine or tax-free salary or the wonderful experiences and opportunities that we have here could take away from this voice. And so after moving here, after a few months, I felt lonely, I felt frustrated, and I felt empty. So I thought, I know what will make me happy. I'll focus on my career. I'll focus on getting my finances to a higher place. That will make me happy. And unfortunately, even when I was the best, even when I did achieve amazing results in my career, I still never thought that my best was good enough. I was always trying to be the best, but not believing that I ever was the best. And so I then had a vision one night, and I thought, driving home from work, that the best thing I could do would be to move to the Palm. I thought if I moved to the Palm, then this would make me happy. And then there's guilt. So we've talked about self-criticism, but there's also guilt. And I had a lot of guilt as well. I used to worry about what I said to other people, if other people were okay. And I used to say the word should to myself. Do you say the word should to yourself? I used to say to myself, I should eat less. I should eat more. I should eat more healthy food. I should exercise more. I should work harder. I should. And I was shoulding all over myself. And this was a real stress. So as I share this story, are there any things that you say to yourself that you should do? Because when we say the word should, what we're really saying to ourselves is that we are wrong. We're really guilting ourselves. So I'd like you now, in your small groups of 2 or 3 or of 4, just to share in a small group anything that you say should to. Anything you say the word I should. Do you say the word I should? Do you say that to yourselves? I'm just going to give you a minute now. Can you form a group? Welcome. Come and sit down. So we're just sharing if we say the word I should. Do you say the word I should? No, okay. Okay, great. Wonderful. So guilt is emotion that doesn't really serve anyone. If I'm feeling guilty, who is it benefiting? It's a pointless, wasted emotion. Maria, that I worked with, came to me because she was suffering for a lot of guilt. When she was at home with her children, she felt guilty that she wasn't being more productive in her work. And when she was at work, she felt guilty that she wasn't home with her children. When she was with her family, she felt guilty that she was not seeing her mother. And when she was with her mother, she felt guilty that she wasn't with her husband and her children. And so we looked at clearing this guilt. And one of the things I said to her that really helped her to start to release the guilt, and I'll share it with you in case it helps you, is I said, if you look up guilt in the English dictionary, it means the intent to harm someone. So unless you intended to deliberately harm someone, and in this case Maria, unless you intended to harm your children or your mother, then we have no reason to feel guilty. It's a pointless emotion. So now the word should. When we say the word should, I should do this, I should do that, I should do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that, what we're really saying to ourselves is we are wrong. We're saying I was wrong, I was wrong, I was wrong. And so what we can do, which works really well, is just replace the word should with the word could. I could go to the gym. I could eat something different. I could do this. And when we just change the word from I should to I could, it really changes the energy. And you see, everything is energy. And this relates back to science. Its love energy is different particles of energy. And this is what we learn in science. We learn that we're made up of atoms, and these particles vibrate. And this is what everything comes down to, is energy. So have you heard of Masaru Emoto? No? Have you heard of Masaru Emoto? Okay, Masaru Emoto was a famous Japanese scientist. And what he did is he played music to water, and he said words to water. Okay, so this is, bear with me, because this is an amazing study, and it's quite unbelievable. And so what he then did is he froze the water and then looked at the microscope of the water to see the formation of the crystals, to see what the water looked like. And one of the experiments he did is he said to the water, to one bit of water, he said the word, I love you. Seriously. And he kept saying the word, I love you. And then to another piece of water, he said the words, you disgust me. You disgust me. You disgust me. And he did this for a repeated amount of time. And I'll share the study with you. It's amazing. So what do you think it looked like, saying the words, you disgust me and I love you? Well, I'll show you. This was the difference. And you can look this up. This is what frozen water, after he said, I love you, the crystal is beautiful. It looks glowing. It looks full of beautiful energy. And this is completely deformed. It's yellow, it's disfigured. And bearing in mind that the human body is 75% water. So what we say to ourselves, the words that we're saying to ourselves, are really important. It actually changes the structure of our cells. Now, when I was first told this, I thought, really? I don't believe it. And I was on a training course. And then I went and spoke to the lady who was organizing the training, and I got the studies and I've seen it. So if you would like a copy of the study, I can share that with you. It really is amazing. So your energy affects others around you. This is how we can change our lives. This is how we can help our family. This is how we can have greater relationships. So the third barrier to love is resentment. And I didn't think I had any resentment. If you had said to me, Nicola, are you resentful? I would say no. I love everyone. I'm a nice person. I'm a good person. And we just got the lovely band going past now. Just on time. So I didn't think I had any resentment. And that was until I went to Greece. And as I went to Greece, I did an advanced training course in coaching. And it was a 3-week intensive course. And what happens on the course is, on the last 2 days, I give coaching to someone for a full day, and they give coaching to me for a full day. And I thought to myself, the day before it was my coaching day, what shall I focus my coaching day on? Shall I focus on relationships? Shall I focus on achieving something? Shall I focus on my own business? Shall I focus on my career? I didn't really know what to focus on. And so that night I thought I will sleep on it. I'll just see what I should focus it on. And then I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. in the morning with flashbacks of things that had happened in my childhood. And I felt angry. And I was crying, and I felt like so ready to release all of this that I had inside. And so I was able, through this breakthrough day, to really let go of this resentment and to really become free. so that my love energy could be alive. You see, resentment blocks love energy. And then I came back to Dubai after this trip, and I thought, well, that's it now. I don't have any resentment. And I realized that when I was in the supermarket, I can't believe that bouncer. I was in the supermarket, and I'd be queuing up, waiting for my food. And then, you know, when you're waiting for your food and you're in a supermarket and there is a big queue of people in front of you, and the person in front of you has not bothered to weigh their fruit and vegetables. And so the person has to get off from behind the till. They have to then go and weigh the fruit and vegetables. That used to cause me resentment. Or I'd get resentment if a taxi driver took a wrong turn. It'd be fine when I was driving. I would take lots of wrong turns. But I would find it difficult if a taxi driver took a wrong turn. And I also used to resent call centres, recruitment agents, financial advisors, real estate agents, if they called me. And yet really all they were doing was their job. So awareness of resentment is really key. So these are the main barriers to love. We've talked about that. So now we're going to talk about love energy. So love energy can be a feeling of feeling loved, of feeling connected, of feeling calm, at peace, feeling joy, and feeling happy. It can be any one of those things. And as Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to take away the barriers against it. So I mentioned to you about the love energy and the resentment that I had. So you may be wondering how I came to have love energy. Well, as I mentioned to you, I moved to the Palm. And I thought that the move to the Palm would be a whole new life. And after living there for some time, things actually didn't change at all, because I hadn't changed my thinking, and I hadn't changed what was happening on inside. And then a gremlin voice kicked in, and it said to me that I was boring, that people didn't like me, that I was not achieving. And this affected my relationships. And the more I focused on the lack of love, the more lack of love you create in your life. And then what happened was insomnia. I had a difficult round of sleepless nights that really started to affect my sleep. And I hit a rock bottom. And as I hit my rock bottom, if I looked at the magazines for help, again, they would have said, eat more broccoli. Or they would have said, do yoga. Or do exercise to make yourself happy. That is what self-love is. But the problem is that if you're not feeling that love energy inside, then you're not going to follow these instructions. I knew what I should be doing. I knew what I should be eating. But this was difficult. And then one day, everything changed. Instead of coming home and reaching for more food and eating my way through the night, I came home and I started searching for help for sleep. You see, my sleep had got so difficult and become so something we all take for granted. And I started searching. And I came across Paul McKenna's book, I Can Make You Sleep. And little did I know that that book would change my life. At the back of the book, it has an exercise on it. And it says to ask yourself, what am I feeling? And why does that matter to me? So I locked myself in my bathroom, because that was safe. And I sat on the carpet and I asked myself, what am I feeling? And I felt, I'm feeling low. I'm feeling empty. I'm feeling lonely. And as I sat there and asked myself, I then repeated the question, why does that matter to me? And kept asking that question, why does it matter to me, as the book suggested? And I thought, it matters to me because I'm not a low and lonely person. I thought it matters to me because I don't want to feel like this. It matters to me because I'm worth more than this, because I deserve to be happy. It matters to me because I want more for my life. And as I started really thinking why it mattered to me, I realized the greatest thing ever. I realized that my greatest pain was not coming from anything outside of me. It was not coming from my relationships. It was not coming from my work. It was not coming from my career. It was coming from me. And as I felt that, I started to feel love inside. I started to connect with myself. And then everything changed. When you awaken your love energy, it's like falling in love for the first time. Traffic lights are green, everything just flows effortlessly. People are smiling. When you love yourself and you have that love from within, you feel calmness, you feel peace. And so I then spent over $300,000 focusing on changing and studying. So I studied loads of different courses. And everything changed. I studied hypnotherapy, coaching, relationship, yoga teacher training. So I do love yoga, actually. I studied all these different things to awaken my love energy. And when I did that, everything changed. My happiness skyrocketed. I became a best-selling author in 4 co-author in 4 books. My relationships transformed. My self-criticism stopped. My addictive patterns started to stop. And I looked younger and healthier. Well, I think I looked younger. That's what I tell myself. And I started to be able to save thousands of people's marriages or relationships through my emails, through my podcasts, my YouTube videos. Everything changed for me. You see, love is in all of us. We are born as love. And it's only when we start to deny our own brilliance that things start to change. You see, as babies, we are born as love. We love everything about us. We love our bodies. Babies even love their own feces. And it's only when things start to change that we listen to adults' fears and limitations that things change. And our body is love. The way that our heart beats, the way that we breathe, the way that our whole digestion system works. It's a miracle how it all works. And we wouldn't survive the human race if it wasn't for love. See, awakening your love energy changes everything. It's where miracles can happen. Now, you may be listening to me and you may be thinking, okay, I don't have food issues like you did, Nicola. I don't have self-criticism. I didn't have sleepless nights. But awakening your love energy applies to everyone. I've used it to help with thousands of relationships. I've helped people release addictions, anger, anxiety, and let go of the 3 barriers that we talked about at the beginning. Let go of guilt, let go of resentment and fear. So I mentioned to you the resentment that I had with my mother, and not even realizing at the beginning that I had resentment. And the only way to get rid of resentment is just to realize that only hurt people hurt. And my mother, like me, was looking for love in all the wrong places. She was looking for love from my father and was unable to have that. She was looking for love from finances, and so when our finances as a family weren't great, she was stressed. And so having this enabled me to just have love and compassion for her. And my dad as well. He obviously needed time to repair himself after the relationship, and he felt like a failure. So when we're able to see that the things that we resent, that the wound itself is wounding, we can have shifts. So forgiveness is not about pretending that we weren't hurt. It's about choosing to move beyond this. So now what I'm going to ask you to do is we're just going to do a very short meditation. So we're going to play some music, and I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and I'm going to take you on a guided meditation. So we'll just wait for the music. And you can just now get a comfortable position and just start to close your eyes. Thank you. So just find a comfortable position and start to close your eyes. As you close your eyes, allow your hands to rest comfortably in your lap, settling into the awareness of the body and the breath. Feeling right into the body now, noticing what's there, being open to whatever is to be experienced in the body, in the breath. And bringing your attention to your breath. Notice the gentle rise and fall, in and out. The rise and fall of your breath. And as you focus on and connect more to your breath, you will be aware of the wave-like movements of the belly. And today, right now, we'll be cultivating the love that you are, the loving kindness inside of you. We all have within us this natural capacity for loving kindness. Love that is unconditional, open, gentle and supportive. Loving kindness is a natural opening of compassionate heart to ourselves and to others. It's a wish that everyone be happy. We begin developing our loving kindness to ourselves, allowing our hearts to open with tenderness. Now allow yourself to remember and open up to your basic goodness. You might remember times you've been kind or generous to yourself. You might recall your natural desire to be happy and not to suffer. If acknowledging your own goodness is difficult, look at yourself through the eyes of someone who loves you. What does that person love about you? Notice their love. Really notice their love. Feel their love. See their love. Sense their love. And as you experience this love, notice how you feel in your body. Maybe you feel some warmth or heat in the face, a smile, a sense of expansiveness. Love expanding everywhere. This loving kindness is a natural feeling and is available to all of us. So just resting here in this unconditional love for a few minutes, letting yourself bask in this energy of loving kindness. Breathing it all in and breathing it all out, inviting feelings of peace and acceptance. So beginning now to wish yourself well by extending words of loving kindness to yourself, I'll be offering as a guidance phases that I've used in my own practice and with countless other men and women to feel good. You're invited to change the words of this loving kindness, or you're invited to take these words into your mind. So as I say these words, repeat them in your mind mentally after I say them, as you have your eyes closed. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I feel connected and calm. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be happy. May I know the natural joy of being alive. And now repeating in the mind these words of love and kindness to yourself once again, as I repeat each line, making sure they're internal in your mind. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I feel connected and calm. May I accept myself just as I am. May I be happy. May I know the natural joy of being alive. And now bring to your mind someone who is dear to you, someone who you care about, someone who you love dearly, that's supportive of you. Reflect on this person's goodness, sensing what it is in particular that you love about that person. In your heart, feel your appreciation for this dear one and begin your simple offering. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in loving kindness. May you feel my love now. May you be happy. May you know the natural joy of being alive. And now bring to mind the person or something that you resented earlier. As we talked about something you resent, bring to mind that person or that thing that you resent. Knowing that this person is someone that suffers from pain and anxiety, someone who is also suffering, someone who is also deserving love and kindness, and see if it's possible to give this person words of love and kindness. And say to them, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be held in loving kindness. May you feel my love now. May you accept yourself just as you are. May you be happy. May you know the natural joy of being alive. Now allow your awareness to open out into all directions. To yourself, to a dear one, and of all human beings and animals living everywhere, in richness, in poverty, in poor, in hunger, and in abundance. May the joys and sorrows of all beings experience, may they all be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken and be free. May all beings know the natural joy of being alive. And as you sit here for the rest of the session, basking in the loving energy of kindness that you are, in a moment now, we're going to stop the music, and I'm going to ask you now to come back to the room. Thank you. So I hope that you enjoyed that experience. You see, forgiveness is not about pretending that we weren't hurt. It's about choosing to move beyond it and realizing that only hurt people hurt. And loving kindness is how we heal the nation. It's how we heal ourselves. It's how we heal others and relationships and make big strides in this world. And you see, with love energy, we can let go of self-criticism. With love energy, we can let go of mistreatment of our bodies. We can heal our bodies. We can get clarity on our path. We can improve our finances and our debts and attract things that respect us. As Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So we've talked about the barriers to love. We've talked about love energy. And now we're talking about the last thing is the love energy toolkit. So if you're feeling lovely and you're feeling great now, and then you go home and you get in and your AC is broken, straight away you're going to feel perhaps annoyed or frustrated. Or you get a phone call from someone that aggravates you in some way. So what we really need is a toolkit to keep our love energy alive. Some tools that are going to help us to stay in a happy state, to stay in a great and good state. So the first tool, and our great usher here is going to be giving out a handout, is I have 2 gifts. And basically there's a gift which is a self-esteem boosting meditation. So if any of you are wanting to boost your self-esteem and your self-love, then it's something that you can listen to, and it can help you with loving yourself. It can really focus on retraining our brain to help us to feel love. And so now we're going to look at the love energy toolkit. So there are 10 tools, and we haven't got time for me to talk you through all 10. So I just picked my favorite ones and put them at the top. So they're in no order, and you can just choose the ones that you like as we go through. So the first one is to be the whole you. When we're all parts of ourselves, our happiness can increase. When we're being all different sides of ourselves. But when we're only being one side of ourselves, we can feel restricted. We can feel that we're not feeling whole or happy. So when our relationships are off balance, we're not our true selves. So I'll talk to you about Lisa and Ian. Lisa and Ian were a couple I worked with. And Lisa had stopped socializing. She stopped doing things in the home. She came to me because they came to me both to help them with their marriage. And I realized that actually that their love for each other was very strong. Their love for each other was very good. But the problem was that Lisa was only focusing on being at home. And Ian, because of the stress he felt and the financial pressure of having 2 small children, he just worked. And he worked very long hours. And then in the evening, he would just sit on the sofa. And on the weekends, he would just sit on the sofa. So actually, they weren't being all parts of themselves. And when we're not being all parts of ourselves, then we can feel restricted. So when they focused on being all parts of themselves, their relationship transformed. So I'll use me as an example. I have a side of me that is reflective. I like to meditate. I like quiet time. I have a side of me that's creative. I've recently got into drawing, but before that I wasn't really into drawing. But I like creating things. I like creating programs. I like creating meditations and different things like that. I have a side of me that likes humor. I love comedy shows. I'm British, so I love sarcasm. I have a side of me that likes to achieve, that likes to go for my goals. I have a side of me that likes adventure. I like to explore and travel. I have a side of me that's compassionate, that likes to help others to free themselves from pain. I have a side of me that's childlike, so I like to go to bounce and jump up and down in Dubai on the trampolines, or I like to go to the water parks or watch children's movies. I like to socialize. So, are there parts of you that you would like to express more? I'd like you to look at this and then share in your groups of 2 or 3 that we created if there's any parts of you that you would like to do more of. As you look at that list, is there things that perhaps you're not doing in your life that you would like to do more of? So I'm just going to give you a minute or so just to share now if there's any parts of you that you would like to share, that you would like to do more of. And if you're sat individually, you can either make a group or you can just think to yourself, are there different parts of you that you would like to do more? So just share with the person next to you. Okay. So feel free to take a picture of this as well if you want to, but it's just about, are we being all sides of ourselves? Are there different areas of ourselves? So I mentioned about the resentment, and I mentioned that only hurt people hurt, and that our wounded self we let go. And so the next one is letting love in. This is the second tool. And letting love in is really important to feel love. It's really important for us. When I used to get gifts or flowers or things like that, I used to find it hard to accept them. I used to find it, when people would say compliments to me, that you look nice, I would think, no, I don't, or I would just deflect it. And I used to find it hard to receive gifts. I'd say, you shouldn't waste your money on me. And so, but if we don't let love come in, what we're really doing is we're blocking that love energy. And when we block love energy, it starts flowing in and out of us. So, how are you with receiving gifts, with receiving compliments? Does it feel natural? Does it feel easy? When Nada took the Let Love In VIP day with me, all of her relationships transformed because she started to let love in. And as she started to let love in, everything changed. So the key thing is to ask ourselves, so what I'd love you to do is just to give each other a compliment in your groups that we form throughout this, and to say to each other, or to just think, or if you're not in a group, then just the next time that you're in a group and you'll get given a compliment, to just take it in. Rather than saying no, but really to appreciate these gifts. And if you are in a group now, I'm just going to give 60 seconds to just thank each other for the energy, thank each other for the session, thank each other, and really mean it and really take it in. So the last gift, or the last one in the toolkit that I'm going to share with you today, is asking for help. When we ask for help, we are giving ourselves a gift. It's self-loving to ask for help. And we can ask the universe, we can ask God, we can ask our higher self, we can ask a friend, we can ask a family member. But when we ask for help, amazing things can happen. And this is how I was able to change many things in my life, when I had the courage to ask people for help. When Sarah asked for help, and I don't know why the picture's the same, I think the slides have been changed slightly. She got more help than she asked for. First of all, she asked for help in her work. She said to her boss that she needed more help, and her boss gave her an assistant for 2 days a week, and then both of them got promoted. When she asked for help from her husband, saying that she was tired and frustrated, she got a lion every Friday morning. You see, when we ask for help, amazing things start. If we ask for help, then we can receive. So we've talked about the 3 barriers to love. We've talked about being love energy. We've talked about the love energy toolkit. And so now you may be wondering what it's like, my relationship with my mum. And now my relationship with my mum is amazing. We're in touch every day, and I love her dearly. But that doesn't mean there's times where she still doesn't trigger me, where she still doesn't say things that sometimes do hurt me. But the difference is, when I have this love energy, I can change my energy back very quickly. I can let it go. And I can realize that the hurt in her is hurting, and it's not who she really is. So how are you going to live self-love? Are you going to get the meditation? Are you going to get rid of that word should that says, I'm wrong, I'm should yourself, and change it for the word could? One of the most best things that I do as I go throughout my day is I say to myself, what would love do? When I'm facing something, when I'm feeling down at myself, or when I'm feeling stressed or anything, I just ask myself, what would love do? In this instant, what can I do to really love myself, to really love others, to really come from this energy? You see, energy is everything. So thank you so much for letting me share this with you. I think we've got time for a couple of questions, if any of you have any questions at all for me. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Mariam.
Can you share a little bit about your self-practice and why self-practice is important to maintaining?
Sure. So my self-practice, how I love myself and what I do is I, first of all, make sure that every morning I do yoga. I do have time for myself. And I also do pray every day, every morning, and set my intentions for the day, what I would like. I connect to myself. I give myself that time. And especially if I have any difficulties, then I offer them up. I ask for help. And often I just sit there and listen, and the answers come to me. So I think it's really important to exercise use our physical body, as well as to sit there in quiet time. So thank you, yeah. Thank you. Okay, if there's any more questions, or if you have anything, please feel free. If you're shy, then you can also email me. You have my email address on the back of the flyer. Thank you. Thanks.